all started at Central in a class called Tropical Ecology. I heard about the class through a couple of friends and it sounded like an amazing experience. I was a little worried about the biology class since I knew next to nothing about the subject. It was 2 days after Christmas when our class met up at the Des Moines International Airport to start our trip. After about 2 days of travel that felt like forever, we finally landed in Belize City. It was just like what you would expect if your only knowledge of the place was from TV and movies. There were tons of palm trees, and the security was pretty minimal, and everything felt very relaxed. We hopped on a little puddle jumper to get to Dangriga, and I got to sit co-pilot. Then we took a small boat an hour out of the Gulf to get to Wee Wee Caye. It was amazing. The small private island that you could only tell was inhabited because of the dock that strutted out of the mangroves. We were told back in the States that we would probably not have enough time to go out snorkeling when we got to Wee Wee Caye because we would be coming in fairly late. But it turned out that we got there in plenty of time to take our first plunge as soon as we could get dressed and hop off the dock. We swam around the island and saw almost everything we had been studying and learning about that semester. It was a little freaky how deep it got and how easy it was to swim so far down. About a quarter of the way around the island, our guide, Udell, told us that we could touch everything that he did and that there were only a few things we couldn't. Therefore, I started picking up nearly everything. The coral structures were very cool. After dinner the first day, we went on a night dive. This was one of the coldest and scariest times I had on the whole trip, but well worth it. The next day we set out to visit a couple of different islands and saw lots of cool fish. We stopped on an island that was apparently for sale to have lunch at. We spent like 8 hours that day snorkeling and exploring different places. On our last full day on the island, we weren't able to leave in the morning due to the large waves that were coming in from a nearby storm. Me and a couple friends swam out about 200 yards out past the drop-off to check out some different coral we had seen the day before. We were met by a huge school of anchovies. That night we went crab hunting on the island. The next morning we headed home, but even then we had a great adventure with 6-foot waves hitting our glorified fishing boat.
There's the boat right back. This little bumpy and wet. Oh shit. Now we cleared up. That's what you have to do is pull the camera out. You're gonna show that picture to your mom and she's gonna be like, "You are never leaving this country again!"
And that was my adventure.